so many books. Hello everyone, Stephanie here. Today's video is going to be my July favorites, which were pretty much just the things that I have watched or listened to this month that have inspired me and made me feel really great, but I do call it my July inspirations because they were the things that kept me inspired throughout the month of July. Okay? I don't know. I will talk about music first. I have listened to a lot of scores this month. I was changing up things that were happening in my book and I needed music that suited that better. Like, depending on where I am and what's going on, I have a specific score, soundtrack to listen to. But I was searching and I found a lot of great ones. Also do great reading music because y'all know sometimes I gotta listen to music to read. So, got my little listica aquí. The first thing I have for music is the Dread soundtrack. Not the original, but the 2014 one by Paul Leonard Morgan. It's great. I have listened to, realistically, of all of the ones, I've listened to Dread the absolute most. I think it's just such a great freaking soundtrack. It's really dark. It's, of course, gritty. Most of these are all either sci-fi, but they are all dystopian movies, so obviously. It's a great soundtrack. I highly recommend it for very action-packed, even fantasy, but definitely more on the sci-fi futuristic aspect. That's great to listen to. Both of the RoboCop soundtracks, they're both really good. The 1987 by Basil Polidoris and the 2014 by Pedro Bromfman. I have listened, of course, more to the more recent one that I have, the older version, but they're both really, really great. I'll put different screenshots at different times. RoboCop, great movie, great soundtrack. Not surprising. It's just fantastic, really. Oblivion. I love Oblivion. That's one of my favorite movies. Definitely up in the top 20. I've watched that movie so many times. I really, really adore it. And that is the 2013, done by the M83, Anthony Gonzalez and Joseph Trapanese. It was because of Oblivion that it helped me get through this one part of my book that I was kind of feeling troubled with. I had my breakthrough for my book, and it just definitely helped. Oblivion. It's more on the calmer side. It's very oh my god, it's very, very good. I love it so much. Ender's Game 2013 by Steve Jablonsky, Gavin Greenway, and Metro Voices. This one, I have been reading The Diabolic. If you guys don't know, I've been talking about it because I'm kind of obsessed with the book. It's really freaking amazing. And when I've needed to listen to music because it's really loud or something in the house or whatever, I've been listening to Ender's Game and it's perfect for it. It's perfect. I love it so much. Also, The Diabolic is a great stinking book. Okay? I love it with all of my heart, and I seriously need to get the sequel now. I'm not done yet, but I'm almost done. But I also don't want to finish because I don't have the sequel. And the last score here is Interstellar, which was by Hans Zimmer. I forgot to put the year because I'm weird. Hans Zimmer does a lot of great scores, instrumentals for movies. He's fantastic. Interstellar, that's also a very slower pace. So depending on what I'm writing in the book, I have gone to listen to Interstellar soundtrack. I love it. The music's amazing. I also love the movie. I need to rewatch it. It's just really long, but I also don't give a shit that it's really long. I've watched a few movies. Two of these movies are not inspiring for the project I'm on, but they are inspiring for something else that I've started thinking of lately. And actually, I almost forgot the other thing too, but I'll remember that. So let's talk about the ones that are helping me with my current whip that I'm doing, which is my work in progress. The first one is Running Man 1987 with Arnold Schwarzenegger. I love Arnold Schwarzenegger. I also saw another one of his movies. Oh my god, I love his futuristic movies, okay? I still haven't seen Total Recall because when I watch that, I go on this kick of rewatching it constantly because I have problems. But if you don't know, Running Man is set in the future, which is funny because it's actually last year. The movie was made in 1987, but it was in the beginning of older movies from back in the 80s, they always had writing in the beginning, in the year 2044, this and this happened. Well, in the year 2017, they have, like, you know, things have gone bad, everything kind of sucks, and there's a lot of, like, people in prison, but they have this show called The Running Man, and on that show, they gather a bunch of prisoners that people, like, choose, and the prisoners get put in these, like, levels. There's, like, 3 or 4 stages, and they, like, vote, like, the audience members vote, and they get, like, they have, like, these 4 really strong men that go and, like, kill the prisoners, and whoever ends up making it out is, like, set free. And Arnold Schwarzenegger is his character. He is falsely framed for something that happened. They, like, did stuff, and he gets put in prison, and then he gets put into the game because, like, you know, he's badass. Okay, I love that movie so much. It was great. It was fantastic. Actually, something that I have in my book was because of that, but not necessarily. Obviously, nothing is the same. It was just the idea of it that inspired what I'm doing in my book. So I loved it. I highly recommend it. Okay. The next one I did watch was Blade Runner, which was the 1980 something, I think. I don't know. I forgot to write that, with Harrison Ford. I know I had watched the movie when I was younger, but I had not, like, re-seen it. So it was like watching it for the first time. It was a great movie. It's set in the future, where they did this thing where they made fake humans, like robotic humans or whatever, and you have Blade Runners who go around and they're pretty much hunting them down because they pose a threat, and you're not supposed to create artificial life and whatnot. It's great. It's fantastic. It's, like, dark and, like, quiet. I feel like rewatching it, honestly. It was very good. I want to watch part 2, which is Blade Runner 2049. I love it so much. The Sixth Day, another Arnold movie. This is set in the future, and it is illegal to make replicas of people. Like, you can't clone people. They tried doing it, and it came out wrong. So the company that does these clones animals. They do dogs and cats and whatnot. But Arnold, who is ahead of this, like, charter company that he owns for flying helicopters, like, he gives people rides, he gets hired by this very popular man who does clones. You know, he's, like, the guy who pioneers it. They end up getting attacked, and the thing is, when he gets home after that day, he gets home to see a clone of himself in his house. So it's about him trying to say, like, hey, this is actually me, not that person over there, and whatnot. It's a great movie. I really love that one. You already know I have Arnold problems, okay? But I seriously love that movie. It's great. It's fantastic. I highly recommend it if you like a good old-fashioned sci-fi dystopian. And the last one that I read that was more inspiring towards what I'm doing, but also not really, because the 6th Day and the next one are not necessarily have anything to do with what I'm working on right now, but they're just great futuristic movies, is The Island, which also has to do with cloning. Maybe I'm going somewhere with this. I don't know. But The Island, if you don't know, is with Ewan McGregor, and it has Scarlett Johansson. And in this movie, this guy created this facility. And if you have a lot of money, you can get yourself cloned to your same age, to whatever you need. So let's say you are a playboy, as they say, like men, and you drink a lot, you do a lot of stuff, you need liver, you need a heart, you need a lung, whatever. Your clone is there for that. You want to have a baby, but you don't want to use another person type surrogate. Well, you get a clone, she will carry your baby for you. And it's just about 2 of them finding out that they need to get out, busting out, and, like, being out in the world. I love that movie so much. I hadn't watched it in a really long time, but it's so freaking good. I can watch it over and over again. Like, I do not get sick of it. And the last couple of movies I'm going to talk about, though, have nothing to do, like, those last 2 are about cloning, I swear. Like, what I'm doing has nothing to do with cloning. So maybe that's, like, I'm venturing into it. But the next 3 things I'm going to talk about, technically 4 movies, but the next ones I'm going to talk about have nothing to do with my current work in progress, but just movies I really enjoyed. One of them, I'll talk about that one first. I did watch Purge Part 2 and 3 this month, which is Anarchy and Election Day. I started writing a very disturbing dystopian book a while ago. Like, this was last year or something, and watching Purge made me want to work on that again. So I'm excited to finish my current work in progress too. edit it and do all of that stuff and then start working on my next one, because it's something that I have a lot of it like planned out. I have like maps and everything for it. It's a futuristic dystopian. But watching Purge just reminded me of it. Not that it's similar. I mean, it is similar, but not for the reasons that it is. I really like the Purge movies. They're really good. I love movies like that. Okay. I think they were... Oh, also I saw Strangers. Not for anything. It's a good movie. I like that one a lot. The next one that I saw was The Titan. And that one has Sam Worthington, which is the guy from like Avatar and whatnot. And this one was just a great movie that I thought I'd share if you guys haven't seen it. But it's set in the future. I don't know how far. I don't remember if they say a year. I don't think they do. Now the thing is the Earth is dying. The Earth is not doing very good. So there are these group of scientists who are starting to think ahead in the future and starting to think about their livelihood. So they gather a group of men and women, like 10 of them if I'm correct, and they start forcefully evolving them so they can go to Titan, which is what, one of Saturn's like moons or something like that. I don't remember. Don't ask me exactly. So it's just about them evolving these people to be able to live on another planet's surface. And it's great. It's crazy. It's heartbreaking. And it's just beautiful. And I really, really loved it. Like, I really loved it. That was a damn good movie. Then I saw Tomorrowland. Oh my god, it still upsets me that they don't have a sequel for that, because I loved Tomorrowland. And mind you, it ended off pretty well. Like, you don't necessarily need a sequel. But it was just so good. Like, Tomorrowland is one of those things where, like, it's funny though, because like they talk about it in there, but it does remind me of like Disneyland. When you go there and you think of like, or Disney World, because I've only ever been to Disney World. But like you think of Walt Disney and how he had so much these grander ideas for the future and whatnot. And Tomorrowland has that. It has like this childish hope for the future that I think is fantastic. It's great. It's with George Clooney and Britt Robertson. And it's about this, it's the world. And it had, okay, how do I explain that? I don't want to spoil it. Anyway, if you haven't seen Tomorrowland, it's about the Earth, right? And there's a world within a world type thing where there's another one that they're talking about, which is called Tomorrowland. And Tomorrowland is for the inventors of the future and the ones who want to make the world a better place and all of the great things that they can do and whatnot. And it's about a girl who gets a coin, a promo coin. So it didn't last for very long, but all you do is you see stuff in the city. By holding it, you can see it. And it's about her wanting to actually get there and then figuring out a whole bunch of other stuff. It's so much fun though. Like, I love it so much. Can they please make a sequel? I loved it so much. And that was a rewatch for me. Titan was new. Purge was new. Tomorrowland was a rewatch. Like the first ones I was talking about. The last one, I saw this one. I loved it so much. It was Valerian and the City of a Thousand Planets. I had forgotten about that movie. I know it came out last year, and I remember only seeing the posters and never seeing a trailer on TV for it, other than maybe whatever I saw in the theater. But I promise you, I didn't hear anything about it. I remember seeing the poster and I was like, ooh, that looks like a badass poster. Cara Delevingne, the other guy that I always forget his name that comes out in that movie, where they like get superpowers because they go into that thing that I also just forgot what the name of that movie was. I'm so good at this, obviously. But it's a fucking space opera, dude. Like, there's so many planets and species, and there is literally a like huge space station that has like, I don't know how many thousands of species on there. And it's about Valerian and the girl who I forgot her name already because that's how great I am. And they're like space cops type thing. So they go from galaxy to galaxy to like, let's say, retrieve something, arrest someone, yada yada. And oh my god, it's just so great. I can't even explain it because there's a whole lot of stuff going on. The movie did not do very good, but I'm sorry. I do have to blame that on the fact that like, who the hell really heard about it? I rely a lot on YouTube ads for movie trailers, so they need to just pay more money to do that, and then more people would go, because the movie was freaking great. I know that there's somewhat talks about still doing it, because even though they didn't make enough money, they had great reviews from fans, and I agree. It's a French comic book series or whatever. Obviously, I don't even read comic books. I don't care for them. But it was amazing. It was great. I actually really want to rewatch it, and that might happen sooner rather than later. So those are my inspirations for the month. Tomorrowland, Valerian, and The Purge were separate. But I've been really enjoying diving into dystopian, into science fiction, and just watching movies I've never seen, listening to soundtracks of movies that I love, but like I haven't heard in a while, or just solo outside of the movie. So comment down below what movies you have seen this month. What are your favorite scores? I'm very curious as always, and I hope you guys enjoyed this. I really love making these. I feel exhausted now. The struggle is real, but I hope you guys enjoy this, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye!